Right now, the biggest boat sell-off in US history is happening, and almost no one's paying attention. Over 3 million boats just hit the market, and prices are falling faster than anyone expected. Refunds are flooding in, dealers are liquidating inventory, and 11 models that used to cost $80,000 are now selling for just $15,000. But this isn't just a sale, it's a signal. A massive shift in the boat market that could make or break your next buy. The marine market just hit a wall no one wants to talk about. Roughly 3 million boats have been pushed back toward dealers as refund requests explode across the country. Internal bulletins from major dealer groups confirm the surge began late last summer when warranty complaints and canceled orders spiked. The National Marine Manufacturers Association's own data shows refund volumes up more than 200% since 2023, a number so large it has overwhelmed factory return departments. The reason is simple. The boom that began in 2020 when everyone wanted a boat has reversed. Quality issues that were once quietly fixed under warranty have turned into outright buybacks, and interest rates that once made financing painless have more than doubled. Families who stretched for $60,000 loans now owe more than the boats are worth. Dealers call it inventory correction. In reality, it's a refund avalanche that has jammed every storage yard from Indiana to the Gulf Coast. What used to be a waiting list has become a waiting problem. The question is, with so many refunds approved, where are all those boats going next? Overflow yards. Drive past the industrial belt outside Elkhart, Indiana, and the story becomes physical. Rows of unsold and refunded hulls sit stacked behind temporary fencing, shrink-wrapped but already sun-faded. Similar overflow yards have appeared along Florida's inland corridors and the Gulf marinas where rental fleets once thrived. Aerial photos show miles of fiberglass lined up like fallen dominoes. Many are 1 to 3-year-old models, still carrying manufacturer decals but tagged "return pending." Some came from repossessions after banks tightened credit. Others were returned by charter companies downsizing fleets as tourism slowed. Add expired rental contracts, and the total reaches the same 3 million unit mark dealers quietly admit off record. Prices have collapsed accordingly. A Bayliner that sold for $65,000 in 2022 now struggles to clear $15,000 at auction. A Sea Ray once listed near $80,000 draws no bids above $20,000. For the industry, this isn't seasonal softness. It's a liquidity crisis on open display. Yet despite the obvious oversupply, production lines in several regions have not fully stopped. To understand why, you need to follow the money inside the dealerships themselves. How are they financing this chaos? If you've already seen yards overflowing or prices dropping near you, hit like, so this reaches others before they overpay. Drop a comment with what you're seeing locally. Your tip might help someone avoid a financial wreck tomorrow. Floor plan pressure. Every boat sitting on a dealer's lot is financed through something called a floor plan loan. It's a credit line attached to each unit that accrues interest daily until the boat sells or the bank audits the inventory. When sales are brisk, the system works. When they freeze, it becomes a time bomb. During the pandemic, average floor plan rates hovered around 2.9%. By late 2024, that figure had climbed above 7.4%, tripling carrying costs. A single $60,000 boat now costs nearly $350 a month in interest alone. Multiply that by dozens of unsold hulls, and a dealership can bleed tens of thousands before a single sale. Banks have grown impatient, demanding curtailments or calling in collateral. Dealers who can't meet those payments face frozen credit lines or immediate repossession of their inventory. The result is predictable: widespread liquidation. Boats are being dumped into auction lanes not for profit but for survival. Each discount ad is a debt alarm in disguise. The panic visible on dealer lots isn't marketing. It's a fight to stay solvent another quarter. But desperation also breeds disclosure, and what leaks from the back offices reveals just how deep the cuts have gone. Dealer desperation receipts. Leaked invoice sheets circulating through industry forums show markdowns that would have been unthinkable 2 years ago. One Midwest dealer trimmed $35,000 off a runabout fleet overnight after receiving a second audit warning from its lender. Another chain in Florida sent internal emails authorizing clearance below floor value to clear space before spring. The pattern always starts in late winter, when storage costs peak in the northern states, and lenders tighten before the new season. Discounts hit hardest in February across Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio, then roll south as transport trucks shift inventory to warmer climates. The evidence is everywhere. Auction manifests stamped "No Reserve." Dealer portals listing one-year-old boats for prices closer to used cars than yachts. Employees describe frantic weeks of repricing entire yards just to make interest payments. It's not generosity, it's survival math. What the public sees as a sale is really the industry's triage plan to keep lenders calm. And the markdowns we're seeing now are only the first round. The next step will expose the formula that determines which specific models collapse first and which might actually endure the storm. That hidden math decides where the real losses and the rare safe harbors will appear next. Depreciation domino. A refund surge has triggered the fastest depreciation cycle in marine history. During the pandemic, factories built nearly twice the boats the market could absorb. Combined with mass refunds, that oversupply created a glut no promotion can clear. In only 8 weeks, unit values have dropped 37% according to auction data. A $60,000 runabout now lists at $38,000 and still sits unsold. Dealers report whole segments, center consoles, pontoons, and compact sailboats falling faster than they can adjust prices. Each unsold hull drags down the next, forcing deeper markdowns to chase declining averages. What seems like opportunity from the outside is a balance sheet collapse from within. And even as discounts flash online, danger remains hidden. When the paperwork behind those bargains is wrong, the loss begins after the sale, not before. Cheap is not safe. The next trouble starts with what's printed on the title. Paper trap. Every boat carries a hull identification number stamped into its transom, which must match the title and state registration. During liquidation, many cross state lines. And that's where the trick begins. Dishonest resellers use title washing, re-registering damaged or repossessed boats in states with weaker disclosure laws so flood, salvage, or lien tags vanish. On paper, the vessel looks clean. In reality, it may still be under bank claim or marked as a total loss in national databases. Comparing two titles exposes the fraud. One shows a proper lien release, while the other, reissued elsewhere, erases the damage. The buyer unknowingly assumes a boat still owned by a lender. When audits arrive, repossession follows without refund or appeal. It's a trap hidden in small print, now common across liquidation channels. Yet this paper fraud is only the beginning. The next threat comes from flood-damaged boats scrubbed and resold as ready to sail. Flood-washed fleet. When hurricanes strike the Gulf or the Atlantic coast, entire marinas go underwater. Insurers declare the fleet's total losses, pay out claims, and contract salvage yards to dispose of them. But within months, many of those same boats reappear hundreds of miles inland, freshly detailed and listed on auction sites under generic descriptions like minor cosmetic work needed. The hulls shine, but the truth is buried inside. Flood exposure corrodes electrical systems, hardens seals, and weakens composites. Behind new carpeting lie rusted bolts and salt-stained wiring harnesses waiting to fail. The proof sits in the insurance photographs that resurface on boating forums. Identical hull numbers, same serial plates, just cleaned and relisted. Mechanics who inspected these returns report readings of high residual moisture deep in the stringers and transoms even after refit. There are simple ways to spot them. The smell of trapped mildew never fades, and a slow press along the floor reveals a crunch, where wood core has dried and cracked. One push can tell the story that paperwork hides. But even if someone manages to avoid the flood-washed fleet, another financial hazard is waiting above the surface. Hidden costs that erase any illusion of a bargain. Fee iceberg. A $15,000 tag rarely equals $15,000 in reality. Beneath every auction listing hides layers of fees revealed only at checkout. Buyer premiums of 8 to 10% come first, followed by administrative and title charges. Transport can add hundreds or even thousands depending on distance. Reconditioning and storage bills appear later, pushing totals above $18,200 before taxes. That is the iceberg, visible only when it's too late to back out. Some auction houses add late pickup penalties after 48 hours, draining more cash. The only defense is reading every line of terms and calculating total landed cost, not sticker price. Honest listings show fees up front. Deceptive ones bury them in fine print or hidden conditions links. Recognize those early, and the trap vanishes. Even after accounting for fees, a handful of boats still offer real value. The coming section shows which ones endure the collapse. Runabout regulars. The first boats to crash through the $15,000 floor were the everyday runabouts that filled suburban driveways during the pandemic boom. The Bayliner 175 from 2011 to 2014, the Sea Ray 185 from 2008 to 2012, and the Glastron GT 180 through 2015 all share one issue: oversupply. Once staples of rental fleets and starter packages, they flooded auctions as refunds surged. Most show cosmetic wear, faded gel coat, cracked seating, peeling decals. Beneath that, engines remain sound, but depreciation is ruthless. A $60,000 tag 3 years ago now brings $12,000 to $15,000, confirmed by Indiana and Florida auction data. The essentials are simple: solid stringers and firm transoms. Those decide if a cheap runabout is worth saving. These fiberglass staples define the boom, yet for saltwater use, attention shifts toward stronger boats built to resist corrosion and current. Center consoles. That work. The next wave of markdowns belongs to the center consoles built for nearshore fishing. The Carolina Skiff 172, Key West 189 FS, and Sea Hunt BX models all show similar numbers across auction lanes, averages between $14,000 and $15,000, sometimes lower when fleet paint fades. These boats hold a unique place in the collapse. They were overproduced by charter operators who anticipated endless tourist demand that never returned. Structurally, they remain excellent, but many require electrical cleanup after years of hard service. The most critical inspection points are the self-bailing deck drains and the wiring harnesses under the helm, where corrosion likes to hide. A clogged scupper or frayed ground cable can turn a bargain into a problem on the first launch. Still, their simplicity and wide availability of parts make them durable survivors in this downturn. Charts from Boat Trader show resale averages falling 30% in less than one season, putting dependable hulls within reach of modest budgets. Yet inland, another story unfolds. Boats that cost even less to run and shrug off the decay that fiberglass can't resist. They are not fast, and they are not pretty, but they endure. Aluminium all-rounders. Away from the coast, the true workhorses stand quiet. The aluminium rigs built to outlast trends. The Tracker Grizzly 1654, Lund 1650 Rebel, and Low Roughneck 1660 now lead the under $15,000 class. Their edge is simple math. Lighter hulls cut towing and fuel costs by nearly 30% and never rot. Most came from inland leases or lodges, not heavy charter fleets, leaving hours low. The flaws are cosmetic, oxidation or rivet corrosion, easy to repair. Welded and riveted frames endure punishment that would split fiberglass seams. Records from GovPlanet and surplus listings show steady demand even as values slide, proving their resilience. With new aluminium rigs topping $25,000, Used ones at half that mark are rare safe ground. Yet not every survivor hauls gear. Some ride on pontoons or masts, showing that true durability often hides beneath simple leisure forms. If this breakdown helped you see what's really happening behind those $15,000 tags, subscribe now. The next report tracks which regions collapse next and which survive. Don't let the next market shift catch you blind. Stay one step ahead. Pontoons and pocket sails. As recreation shifted toward shorelines, pontoons and small sailboats quietly became winners of the downturn. Models such as the Sun Tracker 18, Catalina 22, and Hunter 23 now sell between $10,000 and $15,000 depending on condition and location. Midwest lakes post the lowest prices, while coasts run higher due to transport. Their edge is simplicity. Pontoons have few moving parts, no complex pumps, and aluminum tubes that last decades if flushed. Small sailboats depend on canvas and rigging instead of fuel and electronics, avoiding inflation on motorized parts. Auction data shows depreciation under 15% this year, compared with nearly 40% for sport boats. They are not luxury toys, but durable weekend cruisers built to outlast trends. For many households, they represent the first sense of stability in a chaotic market. Yet that stability will fade, as timing determines who captures the last dependable survivors. Timing map. Every market collapse follows a rhythm, and the marine sector is no exception. In the Midwest, storage costs rise through February and March, forcing dealers to cut prices early to clear space. Coastal markets from the Carolinas to California follow later, usually May through June, when marinas prepare for new season arrivals. Auction calendars confirm this annual pattern. Listings peak in Indiana and Michigan by late February, shift east by April, and flood southern yards just before summer. It's a rolling tide of desperation anyone can track. The cleanest inventory, boats not yet flipped or patched, appears early in that cycle, before transport trucks move excess stock south. Acting before the pre-spring liquidation offers the best chance at a solid hull. Those who wait for deeper discounts often inherit hidden repairs. Once the timing window opens, the next move is direct inspection to see whether what looks solid truly is. 30-minute inspection. You do not need a full survey crew to find the truth. In 30 careful minutes, anyone can separate a genuine survivor from a disguised problem. Begin at the top and press around hatches and seating bases. If the deck flexes, the core is soft. Move to the bilge and breathe once. A clean bay smells of oil. Mildew and salt mean flood exposure. Plug into shore power and cycle lights, pumps, and gauges. If breakers trip, corrosion is already spreading. For outboards, a quick compression test across all cylinders exposes hidden wear. Finally, check beneath the trailer. Rust at spring mounts or weld seams signals neglect. Each step is free yet can save thousands in repairs. 1 hour with a flashlight is worth more than any promise from a seller. Even a perfect hull may hide a danger unseen, the financial trap buried in its paperwork. Title and lien trapdoor. Every vessel carries two identities, the number welded to its frame and the record filed with the state. When they differ, the trapdoor opens. Check the stamped hull identification number near the transom or console. It must match the printed title and database record exactly. Any altered or missing digit signals a washed history. Fraud often happens when boats cross state lines and receive new paperwork before licenses are cleared. Those debts follow the hull, not the owner. A uniform commercial code search reveals active liens, while a Coast Guard abstract exposes unpaid finance or litigation. Fresh ink or glossy certificates on old models are warnings. Genuine titles show aged paper, older stamps, and consistent signatures. Missing pages or mismatched handwriting mean risk. Once a lien surfaces post-sale, recovery is nearly impossible. When the paperwork finally clears, negotiation becomes the final test of preparation and leverage. Cash leverage and next wave. In this downturn, cash carries more weight than loyalty. Dealer quotes this month show discounts near 8% for immediate payment before audit deadlines. Each unsold day adds interest. So verified auction comparisons and firm offers often break resistance faster than talk. The best tactic is silence. State your price and let inventory pressure do the work. If the seller hesitates, walk away. Most call back within days. This is not opportunism but discipline. The collapse rewards patience and proof, not impulse. Every dollar saved now shields against the next correction already forming. Electric propulsion and emission mandates are raising costs, setting up another discount wave within weeks. Wait about 3 weeks and the next auction cycle will reveal whether prices sink further or level out. Restraint equals profit. The storm exposed weak hands, but careful movement still offers rare, steady ground in a shaken market. The refund wave isn't slowing down, and the next price drop could hit even harder. So before you buy, sell, or finance your next boat, make sure you know what's really going on behind those discount signs. If this helped you spot what others are missing, hit like. Drop a comment with what you're seeing in your area and subscribe so you don't miss the next market update. Because this story isn't over yet.